Hello. Bl'Artagnan here with Invitation to Pleasure, the Act 3, Chapter 7, Part 1 Lufenia Plus fight. Every time I say that, I just feel, kind of skeezy. I guess an invitation's better than, well... You know what, we're gonna stop that right now. We're not going down that line of thinking. Not what this channel's about. But we have a team here. A team of Machina, Golbez, and Pain, which may be my dumbest Machina adventure to date. Featuring no tank and no healer. And no debuff immunity, too, which is kind of neat. No synergy either, which is all fine and good. And no C90s. Well, aside from the friend unit, but, those don't really count in these sorts of things. So what have we got going on here? We actually opened early on with the Warrior of Light base call, because these guys always open with a pair of Havoc Wings, meaning if they're at 0 Brave when they do it, they don't do any damage. And that means, despite how stressfully low our hit points are, we can actually get away with not using the LD call there, and just use the base call to survive for a turn, which is nice. It buys us a bit of extra time. We use Pain there. Pain's actually mainly going to be here, well, for two things. One, checking the orb. Her overhead and her dress sphere buff both go up to 5 stacks, so that checks the orb rather easily. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Poor fiends. Anyway, she's also there to dispel the speed buffs, because that can just be a hassle. We actually don't really want them taking that many turns if we can avoid it. It's not a huge deal, but it's stressful when they take turns, so we'd rather it not happen. That being said, Machina actually, when they take turns, is going to be counterattacking like mad, so it actually kind of works out okay. Now, we're going to his burst. Golbez, of course, in the middle there, is going to be keeping the party safe. And you may say, Bl'Art, why not just use, a tank, or, any, why Golbez? And, well, for one thing, the reason is, I like using him. He actually has a pretty interesting thing that he does here, though, in that he and Machina both are very easily able to ribbon themselves. We have Leviathan there, you see? We have a Leviathan buff. That triggered automatically at the start of the fight, basically. And that, along with the Warrior of Light shield, is going to give us all the buffs we need to just kind of ignore the shrines that they throw at us. So that's kind of nifty. You'll see there, with Machina, there's actually one more buff we're going to need to get him fully trined up. So luckily, they didn't... trined up. Ribboned up. Luckily, they didn't actually hit him with the trine that time. That would have been really uncomfortable. But we're okay. The last source of our buffs is going to come from the Ketchi call. We're going to go ahead and drop that base call. I had hoped to drop it at the start of the fight to immediately fill up Pain's LD stacks, but it ended up getting so close without it that I was like, you know what, let's save it, give ourselves a couple of extra turns of having it on hand for Machina. Especially since he'll be locking them when he uses the Warrior of Light LD call. As for Machina's role here, of course, we know what he does. He does his burst phase, and that's all cool. He's actually going to be doing a bunch of counter damage, too, throughout the course of the fight. This is going to be kind of precarious, but it's going to work out okay. We gave him the Warrior of Light call, which may seem a little weird, but works out okay, because that lock, as we mentioned, is going to be handy when they start throwing shrines around. We don't want Pain to get shrined if we can avoid it, and we don't want Ramza to get shrined when he tags in. We're tagging him in now. Because obviously, compared to Ramza and Golbez, which of the two of them do you want active when you're going into a Machina burst phase? Buying ourselves some time with a quick LD there. And then we're going to go ahead and use that Ramza burst. There we go. Drowning in buffs thanks to Ketchi and whatnot. Terrified because I completely forgot about the Warrior of Light call there. And so I thought I was dead. We do get lucky at a couple points in this fight. This run was kind of scuffed, but I'm pretty proud of it, because normally with Machina you expect to see him in a really high-powered team alongside, of course, Ramza, Garnet, some kind of a Brave Gain Up unit, a crazy BT plus stacking team. And technically we are stacking BT pluses here. The friend unit is to be expected, and we do have Golbez, but it's a different style of team than Machina normally appears in, which I felt kind of proud of. I'm so used to using him in these burn them down teams that using him in a more kind of paced fashion actually felt really good. Now, I was hoping to get this guy below 30% with the first phase. feels so weird for Machina not to be launching on his attacks. But I mean, you know, launch immunity. It's okay, though. We're going to still get him below 30 while the Warrior of Light Call is active, and that's really the important part here. There we go. That's kind of scary, actually. Ramza getting hit by Trine, and because, as you might know, the threshold attacks ignore... What's the word? They ignore, blanking on it. They ignore lock. The status, not the character. I'm pretty sure lock would beat them up. But as a result of that, Ramza ended up getting HP silenced for a second, so that was kind of frustrating, but it's okay. That's fine. He was able to use Galvanize to push the HP silence off so he can start doing, you know, Ramza things. I'm going to go ahead and hit him with a quick cleanse. That's kind of annoying. We're holding off going into the summon once again because I want, if we can, I'd like to push them below. Well, that was actually a mistake on my part. I thought that the second Light of Judgment happens at 19%. It actually happens at 9%. So I was trying to push them below 20 real quickly before the Warrior of Light call went away. Obviously, ended up being kind of a pointless thing to aim for. That's okay, though. We're getting our last Ramza-infused HP attack there. And Golbez is back. And this is a little awkward because our defense is, at this point, purely Golbez's 2 turns of his burst effect. And I guess technically the Warrior of Light shield's on the party, but, like, that's just Brave Shield, you know? So this is a little stressful. Hoping we can kill them in that time. And I don't actually think that he can in a single Furious Blades. So to play on the safe side, I'm actually going to go ahead and pop out of here. Pop out of the summon by just spamming some free turns. Because I think it'll only take, like, one, whatchamacallit, to kill him. Luckily, the HP requirement for the stage is massive, so you can get away with a no healer situation. It also, Light of Judgment's dodgeable, so Monkey just kind of passively dodged it, and that kind of happened. So that was a huge waste of time, but it's okay. The important thing is he's dead now. And here we go. There you have it. So that was a fun little run. Like I said, it feels good to use Machina in a team that isn't just a pure, you know, triple green burn them down kind of fight. So that was neat. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Adios.